Logically, Brazil shouldn't work. By the numbers, by the rules, it just doesn't add up. If you look at Brazil like a spreadsheet, it collapses. Low wages, high prices, broken systems, crowded cities, deep inequality. On paper, this country should have ground to a halt a long time ago, but it didn't. And that's the first thing foreigners need to understand. Brazil doesn't survive because its systems work. Brazil survives because its people refuse to stop. To truly get Brazil, you have to feel it, not calculate it. Let's start with money, because this is where the shock really begins. When foreigners convert Brazilian salaries into their own currencies, they just freeze. They stare at the numbers. First, they laugh. Then they fall silent. They ask, how is this even possible? The answer isn't comfortable. Life here was never designed to be comfortable. It was designed to be endured. In Brazil, survival isn't about stability. It's about constant movement. People don't rely on just one income. They stack them. They mix them. They invent them. You'll find a morning job, an afternoon hustle, and night work. Weekends selling, online gigs, offline favors. This isn't ambition. It's pure necessity. A Brazilian family isn't just a source of emotional support. It's a full-blown economic machine. One person earns, another cooks. One sells, another fixes things. Another one watches the children, while someone else has the right connections. Everyone contributes something. Everyone matters. A Brazilian house is alive. It grows, it adapts, it transforms. Walls move, extra floors appear out of nowhere, rooms multiply, spaces change their purpose throughout the day. What's a living room today becomes a business tomorrow. A bedroom at night is a workplace during the day, where foreigners see disorder, Brazilians see opportunity. This is why Brazilian cities feel so intense. They aren't planned, they're negotiated every single day. Now, let's talk about pressure. Brazilian life is pressure. It's constant, unrelenting, and often invisible. The pressure to earn, the pressure to adapt, the pressure to help your family, the pressure to just survive. But this pressure forges something incredibly powerful. Resilience, and this isn't a calm, stoic resilience. It's controlled chaos. Speaking of chaos, chaos in Brazil isn't random, it's responsive. When things break, people respond. When systems fail, people replace them. Is the bus late? You leave earlier next time. Is the service slow? You find another way. Short on money? You invent a new hustle, and improvisation here isn't a sign of laziness. It's a sign of intelligence under extreme stress. Foreigners often hear about they sometimes think it means cheating or finding loopholes. But it's not that. It's about bending reality without breaking it. It's the art of finding a way when there seems to be no way. And then there's inequality. Brazil doesn't hide its inequality. It forces you to look at it every day. Luxury and poverty share the same walls. Comfort and struggle share the same streets. This does something profound to people. It sharpens your perception. It trains your awareness. It builds a kind of emotional intelligence you won't find in a textbook. Brazilians learn early on where to go and where not to go, how to dress, how to speak, when to smile, and when to stay quiet. This is survival literacy. Let's touch on safety. Brazil isn't constantly dangerous. It's constantly unpredictable. And that unpredictability changes how you behave. People don't ever fully relax, but they don't panic either. They observe, they feel the environment, they adapt. Foreigners tend to trust rules and systems. Brazilians trust their intuition. This leads us to emotions. Brazilian emotions are loud because in a place like this, silence is a luxury. People argue loudly, not because they hate each other, but because they care deeply. People laugh loudly, not because life is easy, but precisely because it's so heavy. Humor here isn't ignorance, it's armor. Jokes are shields. Music is medicine, and conversation is therapy. Mental health here is often protected socially within the community, not by institutions. Now, about happiness. This is where the stereotypes completely fall apart. Brazilians aren't happy, because they're poor, and they're not happy despite their suffering. They find joy because finding joy is an act of resistance. Celebrating is an act of defiance. Smiling is a rebellion. Dancing is a form of survival. Happiness here isn't a permanent state. It's intense and it's temporary, which makes it all the more valuable. And what about time? In Brazil, time bends. Rigid schedules just break under the pressure of daily life. Deadlines move, but people stay. Relationships matter far more than clocks. Foreigners might call this inefficiency. Brazilians call it humanity. When foreigners arrive in Brazil, something strange happens to them. They feel incredibly welcomed, yet completely overwhelmed. They feel more alive than ever, but also deeply confused. They always say, "This place is so intense." And they're right. Brazil doesn't numb life, it amplifies it. The pain is louder, the joy is louder, everything is louder. But here's the truth, most people don't expect. If all our systems collapse tomorrow, many wealthy, developed countries would descend into panic. Brazil wouldn't, because Brazil has been rehearsing for instability forever. Here, community replaces institutions. People replace systems, and creativity replaces resources. This is why Brazil isn't fragile. It's elastic. If you stretch it, it adapts. If you pressure it, it reshapes itself. Now, let me ask you something real. If your job disappeared tomorrow, what would you do? If your income was suddenly cut in half, who would you turn to for help? If the power went out for days, would your neighbors knock on your door to check on you? Would your community reorganize itself? Because in Brazil, it would. And that's not some romantic notion. That's a necessity born from experience. Brazil doesn't work because it's easy. Brazil works because stopping has never been an option. This country runs on people, on relationships, on improvisation, on sheer emotional strength. That's why Brazil confuses foreigners. That's why it shocks visitors. And that's why it survives every prediction of its own collapse. Brazil shouldn't work, but it does. And once you begin to understand why, you'll never look at the world the same way again. Now it's your turn. What part of Brazil shocked you the most? What still confuses you? What do you not understand? Ask away in the comments. I promise you, Brazilians are already waiting there to answer. Thanks for watching.